and Damian Barrett, and welcome to the 2016 wash-up for the Fremantle Dockers. This team finished in the top six the past 4 years, but this season they've only been able to notch up 3 wins, and if it wasn't for a banned Bombers outfit and a Brisbane Lions rabble, they'd be wooden spooners. Matthew Lloyd, what happened?
Damon, it's hard to believe how they've become non-competitive so quickly, but obviously they got crippled by injuries. Key players, Fife, Sandilands, Michael Johnson. I think their game style, which they started with at the start of the year, didn't work. Ageing list, underperforming list. Oh, what a bad year it's been.
Just hard to believe how they could finish top of the ladder last year and just be such a mess this year. Look, we start the wash-ups with a highlight, and I'm going to nominate Lachie Neale as my highlight for the Dockers for 2016, because there weren't many to choose from, Lordo, and yet this man, who started the year out of contract, recommitted to the footy club and finishes the season as the game's leading disposal winner throughout the course of the season. And look, he was just really good. In fact, he was just one of the real few high points to an otherwise disastrous year.
It's a great call, Damo. He's my all-Australian sentiment. I think he deserves to make it. Some will say, oh, he's not damaging enough with the football, but I think in the type of year that they've had, the consistency that he's brought to the table has been brilliant. My upside's been that Ross has finally played some kids, and Lachie is the first of them. It's been brilliant. You know, these chase downs, you know, he's clean with the football. It's been brilliant as well. Connor Blakely is someone who I think Ross dropped a few weeks ago. I was really disappointed in that, because he has to get better with his foot skills, but he's tough, he's hard, got a little bit of Nathan Fife about him with the way he plays. This guy here, Ed Langdon, just runs all day for the Fremantle Dockers. I hope Ross keeps persevering with him. And this guy, Darcy Tucker, just nice and clean. He's had a pretty good first year at AFL football.
In a season that they've had, the Dockers, there's so many options to choose from when it comes to lowlights. So I'm going to round 19. This was Matthew Pavlich's 350th game. It was a big game against the Sydney Swans, and I think if we didn't know it was bad enough at this stage of the season, we knew when you saw that scoreline at the end of it that they just weren't capable of doing anything significant this year, Lordo.
Yeah, let's hope they perform better for him, Damo, in his last game of AFL footy this week. My low light was to start the season 0-10. You know, who would have believed that could ever happen? The biggest fall from grace, I think, maybe in AFL history, which just curtailed their season. All
right, we'll give a mark out of 10, and I'll get the ball rolling with the Dockers here, Lordo, and I'm giving him 2.
Well, some will say 2's harsh. I've gone even harder, Damo. I've given them a 1, the Fremantle Dockers. Unforgivable season from them. All
right. Every club, even in a bad year, needs to give a little bit extra for the Christmas bonus. I'm going to give my bonus to a man I think's had a pretty good year under the circumstances, Hayden Crozier. He's become a good intercept marker. I think he stood up at times when the backline particularly has been under siege, and I just reckon some of the rebound he's given the club this year, in a year that's gone very badly, as we've already discussed, was okay.
Yeah, out of poor years, you just highlight the kids, and I'm highlighting a mature age one that they brought in, Sam Collins, who was a late recruit, and just his ability, Damo, to take on the power forwards. So we see some vision of him taking on guys like Joey Danaher. They won this game, and it was due to a guy like Collins. I love this night on Travis Cloke. I think he really held Travis Cloke really well. Tough, hard. He allows Michael Johnson next year to play on the second and third forwards, and Collins can take the number 1, which is great.
There's going to be a lot of changes between this end of this season before they play again in 2017. So we're going to put a few on the chopping block, Lordo. We have to, and the Dockers will be about to. I'll start it with people, it might seem obvious, but Silvani Pearce, and that's Clancy Pearce, Jack Hanneth. They have to go, don't they?
Oh, they do. And I've named one that I think has got a year left on his contract, but I'd pay out Zach Dawson. Right. I think they've got to move on. They've got the man I just showed, Sam Collins, so I don't think Dawson should stay on the list. Matt DeBoer, Tendai Mazungu, their time's up at Fremantle as well.
OK, they've got decisions to make on Main and Barlow, and it seems unlikely that they will be there. Even in seasons that unfold the way they have disastrously for the Dockers, we need to have a look at some lighter moments, Lordo. This is a game where Ballantyne got a nasty head knock, and then in the same game managed to have his eardrum blown out by a boundary umpire, and then a couple of weeks later, or the week later, realised he couldn't hear what Ross Lyon was trying to say to him.
Yeah, tough year for Hayden. He's really on the wane as a footballer and probably out the door, so it's been a really, really tough year. So, Damo, where do they go from here? What do they need to do to improve moving forward?
It's not enough time to discuss it fully. They have to ensure that Nat Fife just wants to stay at the footy club, and both Ross Lyon and Nat himself have talked about the need for the club to present a case to make that compelling. It has to be done. It has to be done sooner rather than later. They cannot have 2017 unfold with him being doubtful about that future.
Yeah, I think they need a key forward. I think Cam McCarthy will go through and come through. Let's hope he can get his life right and come through. So he should be there next year, and then 12 months later they need Jesse Hogan or Rory Lobb playing for the Fremantle Dockers.
OK. 16 was a disaster. Where's 2017 going to be for the Dockers?
Can only be up, Damo.
Yep.
So they'll go up 3 wins this year. I think they should hit back hard and win at least 10 or 11 while still playing the kids, Damo. What about
10
you?
or 11 up from 3?
I think they can next year, yeah.
OK. I've got them going up too, Lordo. I'm just not as buoyant as you are about that being a 10 or 11 win season. But look, Ross is a seasoned performer. Hey, thanks for that.
Thanks, Damo.
And thanks for watching us on the Dockers Wash Up for 2016.